already have some late news roll in overnight. That
True.
Keith Thurman is gonna be taking on Tszyu. I got a message this morning said he, duck stay honest. I don't know if you can call it a duck. I know they had a deal in place for him to fight Amon stay honest. I guess Keith Thurman chose to go up and wait to fight Tszyu. He ain't fought in over 2 years. Even when they fight and take this fight, I think it's gonna be March 30th. To kick off Amazon Prime pay-per-view. And yes, this is pay-per-view, which is hilarious, man. And a lot of people kind of saying on the internet that ain't nothing changed from leaving Showtime to Amazon. Even though allegedly on Al Heyman's dime, he's still doing bullshit fights. So if somebody, willing to trick off their money, on bullshit fights, you know what I'm saying? What you expect, what you expect, when they on somebody else dime, you know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. So, Al Heyman is still on the same time. 9 pay-per-view fights going on pay-per-view. And I just seen somebody who I forget where I seen it at. They did an article saying that our pay-per-view fights killing the visibility of boxing, and they absolutely are. Ain't no two ways around it. It is killing the visibility of boxing. You know what I'm saying? How can you grow stars and you growing them on Showtime, you growing them on pay-per-view? You know what I'm saying? They not getting the accessibility that you think, they should be getting. And that's how you build, a fan base. They're not building a fan base, in the Olympics no more, because a lot of these guys ain't making it to the gold medal round. The Olympics don't have exposure that they used to have. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these dudes is you know, they just not getting exposure. And then when they do fight on the accessible platform, it's, once a year, people tend to forget them. So you see it, Tszyu set to defend WBO titles versus Keith Thurman. And like I continue to say, man, this is a regular TV fight. And if this ain't in the budget for a regular TV fight, I mean, shit, what is? Ask yourself what is. If this pay-per-view of Charles Martin and Luis Ortiz had to be pay-per-view, as Andy Ruiz and Areola had to be pay-per-view, you knew this shit was doomed. PBC won't survive long with Amazon, unless Amazon is just truly desperate. So Tszyu would defend, according to Mike Copper, ESPN, his WBO junior middleweight title against Keith Thurman on March 30th in Las Vegas. Sources tell ESPN 54-pound title bout will headline PBC's first pay-per-view as part of a new deal with Amazon Prime. Tszyu 24-0, 17 KOs, broke through in 2023 wins over former title holder Tony Harrison, both by ninth round KO, Carlos Ocampo first round KO, and Brian Mendoza unanimous decision. 29-year-old Australian said after he wins over Mendoza in October, he will campaign in the U.S. going forward. So there you go. So Keith Thurman ain't fought since February. I mean, these are all things we already know. So Keith ain't fought since February of 2022. So that's 2 years since Keith Thurman done something. And most people saying, these boots fanboys saying, well, he dug boots. Look here, man. Boots going through the same thing Earl went through. You know what I'm saying? Boots going through the same thing Earl went through. And you ask, what is that? He more risk than reward. It's as simple as that. He more risk than reward. That's all it is. He more risk than reward. Remember, Arrow had that the same IBF strap, and everybody act like they ain't want it. And everybody act like they ain't want the IBF strap. So, at the end of the day, that is what it is. That is what it is. Nobody wanted that IBF strap when he had it. Nobody wanted it. So, people could say what they want to say, how they want to say it, when they want to say it. But, you know, Gerard Ennis, don't nobody owe him nothing. His fan base ain't even as big as Errol Spence fan base was at the time. You know what I'm saying? It's not even as big. That's one thing you got to remember. It's not even as big. Pause. So, but, oh man, he don't want to fight Boots. Ain't no money in fighting Boots. You can't put that on pay-per-view. Which, hold on, let me stop it. They putting anything on pay-per-view. They put anything on pay-per-view now. So I guess they could have did it, but you know, he didn't want to fight him. Keith Thurman didn't want to fight Errol Spence. He wasn't even trying to fight Terrence Crawford. And y'all thought he was gonna go out there. Y'all thought he was gonna go out there and fight Jerron Boots Ennis when we couldn't even get this dude to unify. We couldn't even pay this dude to unify versus Errol Spence. So good luck with that one. But as far as the fight, Keith Thurman ain't fought in 2 years. Tim Tszyu been fairly active. It seemed like a cash out. That's what it seemed like. And if Keith can win, he probably can earn the Terrence Crawford fight or Errol Spence fight, being a world champion. So that's what it looked like. Tim Tszyu been active, but you know Keith Thurman probably hopefully been keeping himself in shape. But Keith got sauce. You know, Keith got movement. Keith can be slick, but the problem, Keith gonna have to bank as many rounds as he can. Keith gonna have to bank as many rounds as he can. And he gonna have to survive on the back half. That's exactly what's gonna have to happen. Keith gonna try to front run. Keith gonna have to survive as many rounds as he can. You know what I'm saying? Keith gonna have to bank as many rounds as he can. So that's one, you know. But as far as early on, you know, Keith maybe can outbox him and all that. But once Tim Tszyu start closing the distance off on Keith Thurman, it should get interesting. And Keith Thurman's fought above 147 pounds. So this won't be 100% foreign to him. But, you know, I think Tim Tszyu probably knock him out late. And don't rule out Keith Thurman probably getting a knockout, but I just don't like the activity. That's what I don't like. I don't like the activity. I don't like the activity. So when you ain't active, you know what I'm saying? When you ain't got no activity, you know what I'm saying? You know, and it depends if Keith Thurman been staying in shape or not. That's the $1 million question. But I think Tim Tszyu is probably gonna he probably gonna have some trouble early. Probably gonna cut the ring off on Keith and start beating the shit out of Keith late. That's more than likely probably what's gonna happen. You know, that's just my opinion on it. But also on other news, apparently, if I read this right when I woke up in the morning, how about that bed? Turn my swag on. Lara and Michael Zerafa, WBA title fight set for March 30th, inaugural PBC Amazon Prime pay-per-view. It says Boxing Scene, Ho ass Jake Donovan wrote this. Boxing.com confirmed A deal was struck over their long due mandatory between WBA for mandatory WBA middleweight title fight. The two will meet March 30th. It's a part of his inaugural PBC on Amazon Prime from Las Vegas venue to be determined. Lawrence Zerafa will land on the show headlined by Tszyu and Keith Thurman middleweight title fight. The main event was first reported by ESPN boxing insider Mike Coppinger. So So for the most part, this was supposed to be Danny Garcia and Erislan Lara, but Michael Zephyr was the mandatory. So they finally ordered it. Michael Zephyr signed over to PBC um, to get this fight, and they was just trying to put him on the back burner. The fight was supposed to happen last year. The fight was supposed to happen, and WBA said nope. Lara got to fight is mandatory. No Danny and Lara. So Danny said Al Heyman has something big lined up for him. Pause. And I don't know what that may be. So I don't know if you're gonna see Danny Garcia back anytime soon. Maybe in another fight. Who knows? But Lara and Michael Zephyr will be the co-main event for this. And for somebody to think about paying $10 for this shit is wild. This gonna be the same thing. What's that song by Digital Underground and Tupac? The same song. On Al Heyman dime, on Showtime dime, on the investors dime, it don't matter. They don't have no good fights left to make. They don't have none. They don't have no good fighters left. You got Benavidez and Tank Davis. And Tank Davis, we talked about. If you missed the live stream on Thursday, on Wednesday, Tank Davis talking. His coach said they ain't fighting nobody. They ain't fighting nobody that he can't knock out. They ain't fighting nobody that move for the most part. So, hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notification. Increase your chance getting notifications. We go live and drop video. Financially, want to support the channel. Cash App $ CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313. PayPal link in the description. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, the whole nine. Appreciate the love and support. Peace.